A young gentleman asked me a question according to an YouTube that he watched recently. And as he have explained to me that in YouTube, there was this guy who was making a video with his supposedly girlfriend. And in the video, he was happy-go-lucky, doing drapes, doing things in the video according to her energy, what she wanted to be done. And as my emailer have explained the situation in depth to me, he began to outline how he was woefully disturbed by the man's personality, how he was talking. He seemed like he was very happy with the girl that he was with on the YouTube channel. And he also said, well, does that really mean that this guy's really happy with the girl that he's with? And he seemed like he's doing quite well with her, and they seem to be getting along pretty much okay, or all right, according to how they were creating their YouTube channel together. And he wanted me to give him a red pill on this and explain it as I usually do with my Morpheus powers. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down and give you several stories of my own. And I'm going to make things a little bit more clear according to the request, or I could say the requester of Morpheus. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put on my black coat, and I'm going to put on my black shades. And let's take you to the Matrix here. Let's go there. Okay? So I don't have to tell you who you're speaking with. You know who you are listening to. And in this zone, I gave it a name that you should know already. Here is the Academy of Wowman. Now, it used to be just a regular chair, and in fact it is just a regular chair. There's a couple of throw pillows before you, and it's a very open white room, as you imagine it to be. I had to give it a name. I had to give it a respectable zone, because there's a lot of learning that goes on here. There's a lot of overstanding and understanding of the things that we don't normally hear on a day-to-day basis. So that explains why you have received the name of the Wowman. See, Neo, I'm going to go ahead and sit down now. Sit down in my chair. And I'm going to pull out my bags of red pills here. Just in case a couple of you need an extra. And as you know, I am, or used to be, still that way, just very cautious and careful now. A woman connoisseur. I mean, how can I not be, being a man? And some of us men, we are born to appreciate the woman. We're born to like what we see, like what we feel. Just a very natural thing. But in that have taught me so many things, Neil. I've seen so much with the average lady that I'm able to determine a very good factor that I want you to take. You're going to take something from this audio today. I promise you. I promise you, you're going to be given something that's going to help you. But let me take my time before I give it to you. There was this lady I was dating in the past. She was about maybe 2 or 3 years older than myself. And this was when I was blue pilled, not so aware, and I was still connected to the Matrix. Yes, there was a time where Morpheus was was connected to the Matrix. There was a time, but it was long ago. And she began to say and to do things that was very questionable. Very questionable. And I wasn't able to put two and two together and and counteract the deception and distortion from my A not completely reaching Z, because my subconsciousness was not as clear as it needed to be, not as today. But out of everything, I'm going to tell you a situation that happened. When I was with her, I looked at my life like the Bruce Almighty situation, hitting a glass ceiling, or just a ceiling. It wasn't a glass ceiling. And there was a time in that movie, Bruce Almighty, where he was saying there's an anti-Bruce ceiling, and he ranted and he pushed both his fists up in the air to identify his meaning in action, being theatrical, funny, but theatrical nonetheless. And I wanted my life to go forward. I wanted to do better for myself. Of course, here I am today. I wanted to be better than what I was. I knew that I could be better. I knew that there was something else out there for me. I knew that I did not want to be the lowest hanging fruit all my life. And while with her, which men you should never do, never tell women your dreams are your goals and your desires. Never do that as a rule of thumb, because they will manipulate it. They will try to prevent you from it, and they will use that as a tool to destroy you nonetheless, contrary to what they say. I've explained to you as well in some of our sessions here in the Academy of Wildman that when she speaks a thing, there's always going to be an attachment to another word or another definition and meaning, which I'm going to get to you in a moment with that and in depth. So her expressions in her words, where she'll say she will not do a thing, or she feels a certain way, which is only going to be moment to moment, or she even thinks a certain way about a thing, trust me, it's going to change. Same as her talking about how she will support you with your dreams, your desires, and your goals in life. It will turn back to bite you, and she will make that happen. If you want evidence of that, I can push this even further. Why do you have a high percentage of divorce? Why is it a such thing as an MGTOW if they were able to keep their promises of supporting men and their dreams and desires? As far as I've been able to see, a lot of dreams and desires for men has been to have a virtuous, decent, well-to-do woman with quality in his life. But because it is so small, it's so seldom, you have to dive into the Grand Canyon and come back up unscathed in order to achieve that girl. You have to give more of your time and your energy, more of what is unnecessary, what you should not do in order to maintain that quality of a girl. And it's only for the hand few. It is true that nice guys finish last. They will laugh, they will succeed, but they'll finish last. And it is true that those who are of, you could say, high quality vision of some women in society, guys who are somewhat popular, guys who have a lot of assets to themselves and potential choices, options, they have the first pickings in line of the buffet, of the food, of the dinner. Whereas when you are not of value, apparently, to many of the women who are chasing that one or two type of guys, the percentage, you're usually going to get leftovers. However, driving ourselves back to the subject here, talking to this girl of mine, in which I should not have told her about what I really wanted out of the future. Somewhere along the conversation, I told her that I wanted to make a decent amount of money. I told her I wouldn't mind having a few millions to provide a life for myself and for my children. I told you, my children is every child. I care for kids. My whole intentions, if I were to be in that position, is to definitely make sure that children have a brighter future. As cliche and as Barney and colorful purples and blues that may seem, I can't help myself but care about the next generation. So it would not be generally for me. I will be empowered, but now that I know that empowerment will be to empower others. So that has always been a goal of mine, always a reach that I don't think will ever stop. But at that time, I was still learning. I just knew that I needed to be in a better place in life. And of course, who wouldn't want to have a nice amount of money in their pocket? But we don't need to talk about learning the responsibilities and understanding finances and investing in stock market. I can go on with this all day. It would take a completely different new audio to describe this to you, Neo. So quite unnecessary. Just to keep it simple, I just wanted a decent amount of money. And what she said caught my attention, and I'm able to give it to you today. And which some of you may be flabbergasted that she would say such a thing. And I'm pretty sure it might even explode the comment boxes on the bottom. But this is true. When I gave her a small number, I said, I would like to have $1 million. Just to keep it simple, right? Neo, this funny looking space creature of a different world in time had nerve to tell me that I did not need that much money. She actually said that. She said, no, you don't need that. You don't need that type of money. You don't need it. Speechless. See, I was powerless at the time to respond. Some of you, your response and our response today would have been crucial and aggressive, and she probably would not have been standing there much longer, meaning the door would have been locked behind her. The relationship would have been over, and you realize that her plan is to destroy you, no matter what, to say some dumb stuff like that. But apparently I kept that in my mind practically ever since that situation, ever since she allowed such degrading, ignorant, uneducated spewing to pour out of her venomous mouth. And I tackled that on to every other relationship that I have been in with my female friends. Told you, being a connoisseur of women and studying in them and wanting to see them go to next measure. And in the middle, I can also tell you this as well. There's been many people even today would say, why are you single, Morpheus? Why are you not in a stable relationship? Why is it a trouble? You're well-to-do. You are a strong-minded man. You are well-built. You can be in the front page of a Muscle magazine or a InStyle magazine or a GQ magazine. Model type. You can do this, but how come you do not? And I've explained to you this before, but I don't mind, Neil, telling you this because I love the punchline that I'm going to give you. I love it. I enjoy it. And my response is always my high-powered automobiles that I am fascinated about? No, I don't have any. I can be honest with you, say no, I don't. I don't have a Porsche in my garage. I don't have a Lamborghini or Ferrari, all the great cars that we are interested in as men. Would I love to have one? I don't know. I'm not sure. I really don't. Right now, I'm not concerned about that type of thing. It may be nice. I don't know. I've borrowed a few. Sure. I've known what it felt like to own one for a while. Sure. But me? Nah. Maybe that comes with a different subject. But that's irrelevant to the matter. The point is, just like a high-powered automobile, let's give you something that's really fast. Really fast. Let's talk about the Ferrari Superfast. It's a great car, right? I'm always fascinated about my Ferraris. I respect the manufacturer. They're unique. They stick to their strategy in their building. And I'm very, very strict on my cars. I'm very, very picky. Very. And look at yourself like this too, Neil. Look at yourself as this as well. It's not just applying to myself. This is really very simple, but the logic do not apply to a lot of emotional species that we have roaming the earth today, because they don't comprehend this measure, and they won't change because they want you to give a handicap to your standards. They want you to give a handicap to them. They want you to bring down the standard and make things a lot more accessible. So therefore, they don't have to upgrade themselves. They don't have to change their lifestyle. They don't have to do better. They can remain in the low valley lifestyle instead of rising higher and advancing as a species, which also tethers Neo to the reason why we have a de-evolving country, a de-evolving humanity. Because there are a lot of people up at the top, a lot of people who do have power or who do have the millions, okay, who want to open up the doors to the lowest hanging fruits. And so we have a de-evolving society because they have been brought off and sold. You get that? That's for another audio as well, which I already have that for you. So my expression to a lot of low-hanging thinking people who only reads the what do you call that? Only read the outline of the books. You know, they read the back pages of it, or they read the description on the front page and read the contents of it, but they won't actually read it. You say the context, but they won't read the contents. And they say, well, I know everything, put the book down. It never read chapter 1 to chapter 100. I'll say, well, my life is, my standards is like the Ferrari Superfast, but mine is actually modified, beefed up, and have more horses than the original one. I got the high package. Okay. So this car is equipped for professional drivers. It's equipped for those who know what they are doing. It's equipped for those who are used to high power automobiles. That requires skill. It requires knowledge. It requires knowing your environment. It requires self-control, and it requires having a good handle on your emotions. So this is what I do, Neo. And if you ladies are listening and you think that I'm a, what do you call that? That I hate women, masochistic, self-serving, patriarchal, sit back and put on a seatbelt, because I'm going to blow you away. I'm going to debunk you. And if it doesn't, then you got a problem. And like I always tell my students here, get up, walk out of my classroom, and I don't want to see your face here again. Okay, you're not allowed here, nor is your stupidity. I have zero tolerance for unlearned people. I would tell the people that I meet, my girls, my friends, whoever, they'll say, well, Morpheus, I want to be with you. You're this and that and that. Here we go. Talk is cheap. Yeah, I need to check out that audio called Talk is Cheap. I just made it for you. Yes, it's an audio. And I'll say, okay. Oh, you're talking stuff. Like you talk big game. Oh, you're this. Oh, you can do that. Oh, I'll never cheat on you. I'll never break your heart. I'll never do that. I'm not like the rest of the girls. I'm not like this. I'm not like that. And so this is what I do. And I don't recommend it unless you have standards, because most of you men don't. Know yourself. I teach you that in this Academy of Women. So you should know that by now. I teach you that you should have ground and have instinct so you can do this. You can't do this if you are weak. You know, you can't do this if your whole life you've been boiled in water your whole life as a very limp, insignificant noodle. Only after then you have a backbone and girth and you have self-discipline can you do this, because by doing this, you know the measure and the potential of the person you're with, and you know yourself, you know the caution, you know the dangers, and you know the potential to be just one of her notches underneath her belt. That's amongst the thousands, right? So I say, okay, fair enough. You talk stuff. Here's the keys. See that Ferrari over there? Take it for a spin. And I'll sit back, put my hands in my pocket and say, okay, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to prevent you. I'm not even going to tell you who or what I stand for. I'm going to tell you along the way. So you say you can do a long-term relationship, right? You say that you can do, the marathon run, or the long laps where you have to do 100 laps of endurance, those endurance runs. So you say that you can have a child and be responsible for 18 years and still be in a hot, fiery relationship? What a joke. Okay, between this time, Neo, your mind and my mind together goes back to every other man's experience. This is when we learn from other people's mistakes. This is when you hear on the news and you watch on television and on Instagram and other type of social media outlets, just how many times women say, I'm not happy. Or she will do her hypergamy powers, which is common to most of them. Or she'll flip-flop. She'll be, unsatisfied, discontent, distorted, lie, start telling you stories and pretending to be this very decent angel, right? And it's a joke. It's just like a comic book. And so therefore, I already know that she's not going to be able to handle this Ferrari lifestyle. She's not going to be able to handle it. I already know that. And especially with my principles, I'm like, well, nobody has been able to make it this far. So I'm like, there's a top speed of 119, 120 something miles per hour. Mine, since I modified it up and did some special things to it, it's going to be like 220, 230. If you do it right, straight away. So she said, oh, yeah, I can do it. I can reach your standard. I'm the best woman in your world. I can do everything you need me to do. I'm going to do this, Morpheus. I'm going to do that. I'm sitting there laughing like I'm Ralph the dog. Here she is with being the bewitched now. I told you about my 3 ladies here in the Academy of Women. You know them. If you don't know them, I'll keep reminding you. The I Love Lucy, the Karen, and the Bewitch. So she's taken on the Bewitch mentality that she gonna wiggle her nose, and she'll be able to drive that fast without losing control. I'm joking, because you remember my Ferrari is not like the rest of them. It's only tailored to me, and it's tailored to my soul. It's tailored to my expectations. It's tailored to what I want and need out of this world. So it's not going to be like the rest of them. And you're going to have skill. You're going to have to be stable. You're going to have to be the single law, or what some people say, the unicorn, which years ago, to be honest with you, years ago, the top speed for a lot of women with virtue and able to stick in relationships and be diligent, was at least 180. By that time, she'll get exhausted and scared. And she'd have to slow down and pull over to the side too much. As soon as she hit it, she had to slow down. Okay. By that time, she's getting out of the car. She's shaking, but she did it. She made it that far. As time has gone past from 1940, 1950, 60, 70, and the more disqualified women became, and this no-fault divorce and being able to use any type of excuse to jump out of a relationship and blame men for everything. Top speed started going down 150, 130, 120 miles per hour. Now it's just, 90 miles per hour. Can't go nowhere. 80. And then now you notice and you witness on the streets today where the common, I would say, low-hanging fruit individual, not just females, as males as well. Okay. Those who are soft-handed and raised by their mothers. Okay. They can't even keep their car straight on the road doing 45 miles per hour because of the degraded lifestyle, because of the weakening of their potential, because of the non-practice of virtue. You see, the non-practice of virtue. So I'll tell them, okay, go ahead and give it a try. And that's during the dating process, getting to know that person, filling them out, giving them chances, speaking to them. They only go so far. They'll do like 60 miles per hour, then they'll fail. Too much G-forces to it, too fast for them, without them getting squirrely, without the wheels coming from underneath them, without them getting afraid of the jerking and the pull of the torque and of the power. This car wants to go. This car needs, listen, my car wants to be successful. It's made to go. This horse, this prancing horse, it's made to go. But she can't go that far because she no training, hasn't prepared herself, been living a very lackluster lifestyle, been going around with different other type of men, playing games, and other low profile men giving her low profile lifestyle, meaning low quality lifestyle. Being able to get trophies doing 50 miles per hour, right? Getting trophies by not finishing the entire lap. Getting trophies by being out of shape, passing out, not doing well for themselves. Getting trophies for even having 3 or 4 different passengers, which is almost nearly impossible in the Ferrari Superfast. And getting grants, be considered as successful just for being overladen with what she would have otherwise not decided to do if she used her head straight, if she wasn't so full of hypergamous behavior. And so the subject matter is usually they just don't make it. So for you men and women, or I know it's basically women who will get on here and, oh, you men just talk bad about us. You think we're all the same. We're all the same, but we're not all the same. I said, well, I'm telling you now, it's not that I'm preventing you from being you. I'm telling you that most of them just can't do it because their lifestyle. They want to, you be happy with your Ford Tourist, be happy with your Chevy Cobalt and your Nissan Maxima. Be happy with this car. Be happy because that's as far as you're going to go. That's the only length of potential that a lot of people have. They can only go so far. The car can only go so far as this insignificant, common, whatever. Like, be happy with it. And your minivan. That's not my lifestyle. So that's one of the reasons why there's always going to be an empty passenger seat, okay, in my car, because they cannot endure. They can't be right. They don't want to be right. They don't want to peer bond. They don't want to cooperate with man. Women don't want to cooperate with man. So therefore, it's not as if the keys aren't in their hands. It's not as if I'm saying, no, you can't drive this Ferrari. I'm not saying that. Not at all. Is that you just know you can't drive it because you can't drive it. You have no skills. Do you understand? So that should, in a nutshell, metaphysically, and as a very good description, break it down in layman's understanding. For a lame man who's blind and deaf will probably understand this. If you can't do it, you just don't have the skills. As a friend told me many years ago, they said either you have it or you don't have it. But apparently 99.9% of them just don't have it. They just don't have it because they haven't been prepared. And we are dealing with, in this generation, the results of other parents in the past who have who have promoted bad seeds, who have neglected virtue and value, and therefore us men in this generation just have to suffer the results. We have to suffer what have been left behind, and we are realizing it's just no good. No good. So, therefore, with this lady telling me that, well, you only need so much, you don't need that. Right. And tacking on every other situation of women not being able to reach the full performance of what I am capable of, what I need out of my world. Right. I'm the only one climbing up the mountain. I'm grabbing her with my hand and say, come on, baby, let's go. Let's go. Here, pull the rope. Let's go. And she'll say, oh, I'm tired. I can't do it. And there I am climbing up the mountain. And where is she at? All the way down there below. Because she hadn't prepared herself. No working out, no health. No higher trajectory that she wants to reach, just everyday common conundrum. So therefore, I stand alone. Whose fault is that? Is it my fault? Does that make me a misogynist? Does that make me big-headed? Does that mean I hate women? Does that mean I'm talking bad about them? Does that mean that when today there's no ring on my finger and won't be? There's nobody in the passenger seat. Is it because I don't want her to be there? Is it because I am so selfish in my life and I can't see myself, Neo, loving someone else besides children, like an adult woman? Huh? Is that the case? No, it's just that either you can be loved or you are not lovable. And sometimes people aren't lovable because they have no potential to love you back. Usually the math is that simple. Usually that's just the way it works. Either you are lovable or you're not. Some people say that they can love easier than them being able to be loved. That can be a problem too. Love exists. It's just miscued and rare. And it's amongst the small amount. A man said this not too long ago, and I'm going to move on to the next chapter here. He said the only animal that could actually show you real love usually is your dog. Your pets will show you more love than the common adult human. And that's terrible. Children can show love too. They can love you, yes, just as well, or almost just as equally as your pets. But they just need to understand what love is even further and understand what they're doing, understand what life is about. That determines on the role model who's in their life and what they're learning. Unfortunately, at a certain age in their life, they end up picking up where our failures have left off. And therefore, love dies right there. Then from there, it's all about what I can get. They learn how to be selfish just like us. They learn how to chase nothing but paper and empty smoke just like us. They learn how to be ignorant towards family and relationship because they probably never even had any good role models to show them what it really means. But yet you'll still have your puppy there waiting for you at the door when you get home. Or your cat want to jump on your lap and curl around you. Even if you're mad at them for scratching up your table or your side chair, you're mad at your dog for knocking something over or accidentally leaving a brown puddle on your bed or on the bathroom floor, wherever they are. No matter how many newspapers you may roll up and put it on their nose or put their nose in that pile and say, look what you did, the dog will still wag its tail, will still lap your nose and run to you. It's called loyalty. It's called loyalty. It's called respect. It's called love. You know, it amazes me that sometimes people have big dogs too. Huge. The dog is bigger than the person. With a couple of pushes and a couple of swipes and a couple of bitings, that dog can, do some damage to the owner. But because they love the owner so much, they're so loyal to the owner, to you, who call yourself maybe the dad or the mom sometimes, which is, crazy, but what you want to call yourself, have at it. But to the dog, it's a personal relationship. And even if they're able to bite you, even if they can get mad at you for correcting it, even if they have the potential to knock you over and hurt you, they just won't do it because they're disloyal to you. They love you. They appreciate that you feed them over time. They recognize you. The funny thing is, they will recognize you amongst a crowd of people. They're used to your scent. They're used to your smile. They recognize the pattern of your walk. They recognize maybe even the gestures that you may do with your hands or your face amongst 1,000 people or a group of 100 people. That's connection. That's loyalty. And to a dog, that's dog love to their owner. So what does that tell you about grown adults that we have here? Grown women and men who actually promise to be just as loyal, to be just as diligent with you, and to terminate all distraction. And they simply can't do it. They simply can't do it. According to my email, and I'm not going to stall it any longer. What I'm telling you is, during my experiences, and it goes further than just some of the awkward, crazy, bludge-worthy statements that some women say. Okay. I have learned that we are two different species, Neil, from different planets. And when a man like that, and I'm going to talk about what you was talking about, the YouTube guy, in a moment. We are from two different places. We think differently. We have a different energy. Nature have gave us a different design because we are denoted to do something differently. Our brains ain't even the same. Our bone density, our directives in life are too different. The definition of our words are different as well. When we are communicating with each other and we are explaining something, we have a different vocabulary that we're reaching from with a different color. And we play games differently, even though sometimes it's obvious when that person is doing wrong behind your back. Okay? So when you use this tool, and this is what I want you to keep with you from the Academy of Wildman, yours truly, Morpheus, Leon C. Always keep that in your back pocket or your wallet or on your first breast, or when you get into debate with the opposite sex, or when you're hearing from other people, or when this person wants to be you. Whatever you do, I can do better. That song, the Arm and Hammer lady with her fist up. Okay, just know that you are two different beings altogether. But when they say they want to do what you do, it's the same measure of what I said about the Ferrari. Just sit back and say, okay, here's the keys. Have fun. So just sit back and say, okay, let me watch you. Go ahead. Okay. I just did a record of 221 yesterday. And that was my record best. I'm doing well. And maintaining that control and steady for a long time around the track. Right? So you're Danica Patrick, however you pronounce her name. So go ahead, give it to you. Just have fun with it, right? And the chances of success, the chances will be something that you will be able to see through your principles, through staying on your grind. And someone emailed me something not too long ago, talk about masculine frame. I don't know what that's all about, but it makes sense. Masculine frame. Whatever you're trying to maintain, you have the potential to let them be themselves. So if they're thinking, well, it's a case of discrimination, or you are judging women based on them being a woman, that's not it. No, that's not it at all. You're letting them have what they want. They want it, fine. Go. If it's out of your power, that is. You know, if it's at your own home, your own personal pace, the things that you decide to do, that's based on your own principle. That's based on you, right? But when it comes to the corporate heads or a job, or you have no choice but to interact because of rules and regulation, you still have to say, okay, let's just let you have the opportunity to have fun with it. See what happens. And the proof is usually in the pudding. Usually you will see that there's going to be a difference. It's an obvious difference. You know, in equality, which is a joke, and I'm not going to talk about in this audio. Okay. But you'll begin to notice that there is a change of pace. It's going to be a change of energy. And things are going to feel a little bit differently, too, because you are two different species altogether. Now, I can easily assume that, getting back to this YouTuber guy, that as a producer myself, I don't fake what I'm talking about. This is why I don't put no animatronics up here. OK, I'm not trying to. It's not that I'm hiding my face. You don't see my face. I don't have anything that is special to flash before you because I want you to hear the truth. I want you to hear what I'm saying and use your own imagination, because in your life, Neil, you have a different reality. I even know that you are different. You see that? I'm still practicing myself to know that you, even as a male, and I am a male myself, you have a different reality. You have a different way of gravitating to truth in the world. So even here, I am sitting back, moving out of the way, and let you grow and use your own learning from your experience. So therefore, I'm not playing games with you. I'm not lying to you. I'm not sitting here trying to smile and pretend as if I am trying to pull you into our audio, into my channel, which is your channel as well. So it is realistically raw and uncut. What you get here is the raw deal. It's like eating food with no salt, no sugar. It's straight to the ear, straight to the veins, straight to knowledge. Whether you gravitate to it or not, it's up to you. So the other YouTuber and others like that, with their smiley faces, pretending everything is all fine and okay just to produce something to get you to watch it. You know, sometimes it's for, and I've seen some of them, it's laughable. Because listen, my emailer, YouTubers' life isn't like that. Real people don't really, they're not smiley all the time as they want to proclaim to be. You know, they jump on there and they say, oh, we're pregnant. You know, with the guy and the woman saying the same thing. You know, I can almost guarantee, I can assume that far and say that he's doing what she wants him to do, that he's at her beck and call. This ain't him. This is her. All the smiley face stuff, you know, all the cutesy bootsy. You know, look at this. We put our baby doll to sleep. Oh, look at this over here. You know, my puppy was jumping out. You know, look at the puppy lapping the water. It's a very interesting thing. You know, no way. Men don't listen. Men don't act like that. Not alpha men. No, betas do. It's a blue pill guy who's on the leash themselves will act like that. Good morning. Here we are. We're both pregnant. And oh yeah, it was a lucky day today. Oh, the sun shined. Oh, how you doing, honey? Oh, I'm doing so fine. Oh, okay, sweetheart. Oh, let's go open up the door and see what we're gonna do today. Oh, we just came back from doing groceries. Oh, honey, the groceries is good. Oh, it was kind of heavy today, but what do you feel about it, honey? Well, at least we got all the groceries that we need. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and grab the groceries. We're gonna bring them to the kitchen. Yada yada yada. With a smiley face and his eyes all big, you know, walking in the kitchen like he's Mr. Rogers. Even Mr. Rogers was a lot more hardcore than a guy like that. You know, Mr. Rogers looked like he's red pill compared to a guy who's walking around acting like that, because it's not real life. They're lying to the viewers. Because as soon as the camera is off, as soon as they turn off the live YouTube stream, as soon as they say, okay, the videos, it's a wrap, it's done, and they get ready to edit it, you know, he'll sit down in his chair somewhere in his studio office somewhere. Well, at least I do that, but, you know, he may not have a studio. It might be her, you know, lingerie room, you know, or her powder room, you know, her dresser drawer in their bedroom or something like that, knowing their lifestyle. Okay, but He'll sit down and get on to trying to fix it up while she go in the kitchen with a straight face, no more laughing and joking. Okay, let's figure out what we're going to do for the next video and be done with it. Okay, because I could tell you for myself, real men don't really act like that. They can't. Unless he's a boy, unless he's just this guy who's just too soft to be real. And yes, there are plenty of men like that. And I can easily assume that. You say, oh, it's an assault. No, I'm telling you, I'm assuming, but I'm assuming from my alpha red pill position. I do a lot of teaching. I speak to a lot of families. I'm around them on the most occasions where both of them are there, where their child is. And the men don't act like that. Definitely the female. They're more serious than that. So this tells you that here it is, emailer. There are a lot of people, and I told you this before, it's called clickbait. They are desperate to get people to watch their channel. So in order for you people to watch their channel, they have coaches. And these coaches are people who give advice on how to make videos or how to get people to their channel. And what their advice is, they'll always say, well, keep a smile on your face. Make it happy. Make it bubbly. Put some colorful things in the background. Make it seem alluring to people who are watching. So you don't take them. I would say don't take them seriously because it's not really. If you're looking at it, it's fake. I mean, most times when you're looking at it, look at it through your real life lens, not just your personal life. Although people can be happy. Yes. There's a such thing as being in a happy couple relationship. But when you know yourself and what I have taught you is men and women are two different species altogether. And he's acting like that. OK, he's only doing it because all of it screams woman. All of it screams ribbons and bows and, pretending to be emotional. Right. Emotionally soft, moist like an angel fruit cake. That he might be anyway. But all that is to comply to her and to comply to trying to get people to their channels. OK, when you sent me that clip, I think it was like for 35 minutes or something. They were just doing dumb stuff. I can only last for I was only able to see 15 minutes of it before I had to go to the bathroom and throw up. Because it screamed of soft. It screamed of beta blue pill. Because he's complying to her. He's complying to trying to be and portray to be this soft, bubbly, smiley face guy who I would never invite him to a meeting. I would never invite him to a golf club. Never. He wouldn't even be around my table. I would never invite. Listen, if that type of guy wanted to sign up in my program for me to help train him to get muscle, to learn how to self-defense, I would have to charge him more than the rest of them. I would have to increase the price on him at least 10 or 15% more because he looks irritating and soft. And some of you, I know y'all thinking, okay, who's he talking about? Who's Morpheus talking about? What I'm talking about, I'm not going to say no names because I don't douse people on this channel. No, I'm only doing this for my emailer because I know who he's talking about. OK, and it's for him. But I'm going to give you a good description. And I'm not going to say no names and no faces. I don't do that. I'm talking about there are some couples, OK, guy and girl who will get on YouTube, OK, and make channels and make it seem as if it's bubbly. It's all cute. Oh, look at us. Oh, we're pregnant today. Oh, we're doing this and oh, we're ... Oh, we came from the store today. It was a wonderful day. It's sunny. It's sunny today, isn't it, honey? Yeah, I thought, yesterday was rainy, but okay, well, we're going to start again today. Children, kids, people. Oh, so what are we going to do today? Oh, let's see how to cut the sashimi up. Oh, they go in the kitchen and all bubbly stuff. It's almost like looking at a television channel for children, like what's that? PBS channel, something, or when Blue's Clues, when that was, in full flow, Blue Clues, that face of that guy, Blue's Clues, all that energy, all that so-called persona is so fake, it's laughable. It's it's senseless. And it goes back to one of my audios again, when I said clickbait. A lot of things are just for clickbait, and it's for people who you're not really trying to study or learn nothing. You just want to sit there and be entertained for a good half hour or hour, for people that just want you to like them, but they're not teaching you anything. They're not showing you anything, because it's not real life. Real life in a couple's life, they're not sitting there bubbly all the time. There's some arguments. He's going to do something on his own. He's a man, supposed to be, at the end of the day. And she has her own idea. Not to say they can't get along, but it's not even considered to be a dream come true, because it get irritating over time. And I'm not going to sit up there and talk about how the carrot is going to be cut and how the day is. Are we talking about, whatever is so, what do you call that? Soft, unfunctional. When you got your own business to run, you're working in a motorcycle shop, you're talking to clients, you're traveling the world, you're fixing things, talking to people, you got your own books to read or to write, you got your own idea, you're thinking of bigger programs in your life. You ain't got time to be sitting there looking like some blue pill soft cake muffin sitting next to your girlfriend making YouTube channels. You just don't have time for that. It just don't seem realistic. And so my emailer, just don't take them seriously. Just like I tell you about a lot of other things, Neo. Just don't take them seriously. It's a joke. It's a joke. And don't be mistaken by what they portray. A lot of people will portray what they want you to think that they are, based on what they throw up there, based on what it's called visual eye candy and clickbait. Okay? Clickbait. You would know the differences between your, I would say, your knowledge and information providers versus those who just want you to just smile at them and their kiddie lifestyle, as if they're two kids. It sounds like just two kids playing house. You don't have time for that if you're looking for success. If you're looking to really build yourself up, you're looking for people who are real with you, who's talking to you and uplifting your life with facts, not lying to you. Otherwise, I would have created that for you a long time ago. This would not be an audio. It will be visual. I have all kind of unnecessary things up here to distract your eyes from my words. Okay, not to compare myself to them. That's the only realistic comparison I can give you. There are other YouTube content providers, other people who's practically doing the same. When you listen, you get some empowerment. When you listen, you are focusing on what is actually going on, not me putting a red nose on and paint my face white and jumping around just to get you to watch our channel. Definitely with some other person next to me who's nothing like me. So the punchline with this versus everything else I said is, you have to know that you are different than them. Men and women are two different people altogether. We have a different reality. And when it's no different when a woman, in some cases, do the same for men. If the man is a bike rider, or he's in a gang, or he has a different life that may be rough, or he applies himself differently and she's next to him, most likely she has to support his cause, or she's going to look like what he is providing or what he's doing. She will be on the sissy bar with a leather jacket on and some tattoos and nose ring, and she will look the part as he is. So if it's the reverse, it can be the reverse, where if a woman is doing the same and she's the breadwinner, she's the one with the leash around you. She's the one creating things and making things happen. And if you are compliant to her world, then you start being like her. You start being applicable to her ideas and desires. So you start looking like her, acting like her, and she walk around with the skirt. You got a skirt too. You're walking around just as soft as she is. Now, you can't tell the difference between the both of you, but yet you go in the bedroom and call yourself a man. Real men don't act like that. And you got to separate yourself from thinking that you are this mono singular species. That's unrealistic, because when the mountain crashes on the relationship, it's going to be more hurtful than it ever is for a man who actually knows himself and a woman who actually knows herself as well. If y'all both trying to act the same, when that separation comes, it's going to hurt more than ever because of the delusion that you put upon your own head. All right. The expression that we are from two different planets is true. If you bind that planet together, okay, then there has to be a chance where there should be some type of logical leading, some type of masculine energy that should be ahead of the game. If it's not there, okay, you're going to be bound for something that's going to be unlikely to be mutated. As uncomfortable as this message may seem, Neo, for a lot of other people, and there might be some who might be very insensitive towards this, or might be turned off by the subject itself in total. But it's fact. If you don't like it, well, go somewhere else where somebody's going to lie to you. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else if you don't want this red pill. Go somewhere else where somebody's going to tell you that we are all kumbaya and we are all one species. You know, you talk the same, walk the same DNA, and man is woman, woman is man. Get rid of the description to say you are just a human species, right? Go there. Over here, there's a distinctful difference between every species, every race. I won't say race, but there is a difference between every race, though, and there is cultural difference. That much is true as well. I can't say that there's not a difference there, but there is a difference between gender. There is a difference between man and woman. And that nature part, Neo, must be respected. So if you don't take anything from this message today, take into heart, into mind as a fact, okay, that she is her, you are him. You are two different planets altogether that just need to learn how to collaborate and work together. Sure. That much is good if you can, and that much is possible if both of you are with the right intentions and the right effort. Okay? But don't think that the root of the tree digs into the ground the same, for the same root, the same nutrition, and grows the same. It don't. Once you understand that, then you can see why there's a lot of separate ideas going on in humanity today. Why there is such a hidden civil war between man and woman, because we are not the same, because we are different. And one side is fighting for honor, loyalty, respect. The other side is just fighting for power, dominance, and not trying to collaborate, and it's not trying to understand that a positive change must happen in order to breed a more positive generation thereafter. That is the message for this day. This is your Professor Morpheus, Leon C. You know what to do. Like this, share it, subscribe it, donate. Check out the Patreon. Check out my book, our book. And let us continue to study and to get better. As you ask more questions, as you continue to put in, I will continue to put out.